I'm going to show a little bit of PBS Learning Media so that you can navigate it and find the resources that are going to be helpful for your kids in your classroom. So we'll go over to this quick sheet. So I threw this in the chat feature at the very beginning, and I love Kelly's idea of making them create their own robot, and I am going to show you one of the lessons here in the Pinkalicious collection. So if you start in this Classroom Resources Pinkalicious collection and click on that, it will pull you to this whole group of resources for Peterific and for Pinkalicious and Peterific. And you can see the difference by looking at this icon, and they've done a nice job of also putting lesson plan right on the little image there. So you can see the lesson plan, and then these other are the videos that accompany the lesson plan. So we're going to go down here to this dance creation, and not only does this lesson ask students to create their own robot, it asks them to create their own robot dance moves that they can incorporate into the Pinkalicious Peterific robot song. So they could make their own little robots and then also have this brain break to play around. So in Learning Media, you have a lot of options. You have the lesson summary. They've given you a general allotment here. I don't know what 2 or more class periods means in this context, I'll be honest. So that to me is a little bit vague, but you know how much time it takes your kids to go through different activities. So they have a little bit of your prep. They've listed any of the supplies and any introduction setups that you need, as well as provided links to some other toolkits and other inspiration pieces. So if you really wanted to help inspire them of different dance moves that might help them explore their dance robot, you could play some of those videos and give them some suggestions. But certainly a lot of kids just have their own wiggles and their own moves that they may want to get out. Then there's a link right here, as well as on the previous page, that will take you specifically to this clip from the website, from the episode. So you have a 2-minute clip, and it starts with the robot being activated. And then it goes into the song. So instead of having to have the whole episode, which probably won't be available for a little while, you have this clip ready, and then you can use this directly in your classroom. There are a couple different ways to keep track of these things. Everything in PBS Learning Media is free. You do not need an account, but the advantage of having an account is if this is something that you think you would use, you can love it. And then once you've loved it, that gives you the option of, as you go through, you will have when you log in, you will have the option of having your favorites. So it's just an easier way to have some of that information. But again, you don't need to. The other things that I do really like about this is, let's say this was an activity that you did do in class and you wanted to share this with parents at home, so that if their children wanted to use this song to show their parents their robot dance moves or continue doing some of these activities, you have several options of easy ways to share this with parents. There's a link feature right here so that you can copy this link. So if you had a Seesaw account where you're sharing things out with teachers, or if you have a teacher website, you can throw this link with a little note of encourage your student to share their robot dance with you. If you're a school that's set up with Remind, I love Remind, and Remind will allow you to just hit this Remind button and automatically share it out to your Remind group. So if that's something you already have set up, as a teacher. I used Remind with my students and had the option, since I had high schoolers, but parents had the option to be part of the Remind as well. And the thing I liked about it is it sends as a text message. So for me as a high school teacher, high schoolers weren't very good about checking email. It's an antiquated technology to them. But if something goes right to their phone, they're much more apt to receive it. And I also liked it because it's not something that parents can respond to. It's simply an option of sending things out. So I could send out test reminders, but I could also send out things like video clips of here's what we did today in class. This is also a great option for kids who are sick or families who are going on a vacation. That if you have a way, either your teacher website or Remind or a Seesaw newsletter you do, you can include these clips right in that. If you're a Google school, you can share it directly to your Google Classroom right from here. So that's some of the basics here of Pinkalicious. And they have several different recommendations of how to continue this activity, how to take it home. And as you scan through the other activities listed here, again, each one has a lesson plan and then the accompanying video clip that helps support that lesson. So you're not watching an entire 15-minute episode. It's clipped down to that one specific targeted idea so that it's a short video. It supports students learning. It supports what we know about how long students can really process watching a video in class. This is another great one that is also, as much as it's about making mistakes, it's also a great example of how siblings can interact with each other. So I also recommend this one, The Best Pink Present, is a nice option that Peter accidentally bumps Pinkalicious and ruins an art project she's working on. But instead of getting mad, she takes a different view of the art project and realizes that he's actually, if she uses her imagination, he's actually made it even better because she can now say that this mistake is something else. So it's a great lesson on how we choose to react to different situations and making the best out of problematic and potential difficulty. So there's the Pinkalicious collection. Back on our resource page, there's a link here to the PBS Kids Pinkalicious activity page. You can share this with parents as well. Games, videos, and activities right here. So you can share this link out with parents. The activity sheets are on that website. I also have put links to them here. So if these are sheets that you would like to use, they're here for you to make a copy and download the PDF of any of these plans so that you have some activity coloring sheets, make your own wand. You can color Peterific. And the last one is coloring Blankalicious, but it asks students to identify their favorite color and then rename her from Pinkalicious to whatever their favorite color is. So some simple activity sheets there for you to use. And then some other collections that I thought might be of interest. I loved Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and the offshoot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. And in here, you have all sorts of different resources to use. My favorite part of this is that they have all the strategy songs that Daniel Tiger uses throughout his shows. So the cleanup, pick up, and put away strategy song, these use your words when you pretend. A good friend of mine who is a kindergarten teacher was talking about the power of these songs and that she has an app on her phone that even as a parent, when there's a conflict at home, she will play one of these songs, the sharing song, and she will play that for her children. And as it starts, they start singing along with it and with her. And then they use that to have a discussion about this is not how we share and what are we going to do? This take a turn and find something good. Turn it around and find something good. So all those strategy songs are right here. So I really like that option. And again, when you click on that song, you're going to have the direct song, but then you can also get that link. So if there was something that you worked on in class that you as a class were learning the I'm Mad song, you could send that link home to parents so that they can use that same language, that same video to help reinforce those same concepts when they're not at school. So that's one of my favorites. And Daniel Tiger also just has a lot of other great resources. So you can get, from back to school and holidays, you can see the general categories there. So Daniel Tiger is there. My other favorite is Peg plus Cat. So Peg plus Cat is much more about math and basic math and shape concepts. So there are some online games and activities. The video clip feature here, you can get same thing, those very focused videos for a specific targeted concept. So instead of having to watch an entire episode, you have a nice focused little 2-minute clip.
Chicken coop open. Didn't the farmer say not to leave the coop open no matter what because the chickens will get out and there are 100 chickens and that's a lot? Looks like we've got a really big problem.
And then they need to count the chickens and make sure that everyone is accounted for. So those math concepts are right here. So I like that as an option. I just think Peg plus Cat is very cute, so that's a little personal bias. Under her Peg plus Cat games, under the games, there are some online books that will read to the kids. So you could turn the sound off and have the kid read the online book or have the book be read to them. But I like that option as well. So under the games, here, all of the ones that have problem and this little book icon next to them are actually little virtual books that a kid can read for themselves or have read to them, as I said. So just depending on how you would want to use that. So some pretty cute options for Peg plus Cat. Some splash and bubble ideas. And then I shared in just some other resources that I thought might be of interest. President's Day coming up. It's short notice, but there is a nice collection of President's Day resources, including videos, puzzles, and storyboards, and some additional resources. So some nice little President's Day, a short video that explains the holiday, why, who, and how it came about. And then the other resource that I just think is adorable is this Nature Nuggets. So these are very short videos, so they're 1 minute long, and they're all taken from nature. But they're these great little videos to spark inquiry if they did happen to connect to a story or a science lesson or a different unit that you're doing, great. But they're also lovely little brain breaks of just taking a video and learning about this tortoise for 1.5 minutes. You could do a lot with identification. What do you see? Why is there a fire in the background there? What's going on? Where are we? So a lot of inquiry building questioning techniques that could be throughout here to help stimulate children's questioning as well as how they're processing information. as well as modeling how we actively watch videos. So some interesting options here, and that's the Nature Nugget link. And a lot of nice, just short little videos taken right from nature. And then the last thing, I just put this together for a different teacher and thought I would throw it up here. This could be another resource that feel free to make a copy and then send this home with parents. This is a quick sheet of books that PBS kids have available online. And each image is a direct link to that book. So there are the Peg plus Cat books. The first icon image of the character would take you to the games page for that character. And so same thing, Daniel Tiger takes you to Daniel Tiger's page and some of his games and activities that are available for kids.
Hi neighbors, it's me, Daniel Tiger.
And then the story links take you to some of the online storybooks for kids to read to themselves, or have the computer read to them. So this is a quick sheet that feel free to make a copy of this, share it with parents, share the links. The Martha Speaks has the most book options, and these are a little bit more advanced from what I remember. That you have these online books though. So if that is something that would help you or be a nice connection for parents, feel free to post that anywhere that you might want to use that. And those are the basic. And now the book is ready for us. So those are some of the basic resources connected to Pinkalicious, but also resources targeted at that younger, early learner. Again, PBS LearningMedia is completely free. There are some nice lesson builder options as you're going through the lessons. So if you have questions on any of those things, feel free to reach out to me. The basic shortcut is right here, this little teacher man. You click on him and you'll have some options of how to create different lessons. So that's something that you need to have your account activated. So that's what I have about Pinkalicious. I'm happy to play a little bit more of her Pinkaliciousness and answer any other questions. But let me know perhaps one resource that you think would be valuable to you, something that from this you think you're actually going to be able to take away and use in your classroom. I threw up a link in the chat feature of some feedback on this session, trying to keep it a little bit shorter, a little bit more focused so that you as busy teachers can get out of the school and go about your evening and do your thing. But let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to end the recording of this video of how to use PBS LearningMedia and how to access the great resources of Pinkalicious and Peterific, but I will stay on for a few more minutes to answer any questions and explore some different ideas. So until next time, happy teaching.